EXAKT are a company that are a collaboration between LOOK and SRM. LOOK have been making pedals for many years and SRM have been making power meters for every years. So the combination should add up to a really great product. So let's check out if these pedals are really what they're made out to be. Well, when we first open the box, the first thing we see is the pedals, and which is basically pretty common for the way that they present pedals in these type of boxes. So we take the pedals out, and then underneath we take out the foam, and then underneath we have all the accessories. So let's just do that. I'll just take the pedals out here, and in the box we have the instruction manual, which is pretty simple to follow. It's in a number of different languages and very simple instructions. We have a crank spanner, and we also have their special tool for adjusting. We have the EXAKT pedals, cleats, and then we also have our lead for charging. And here we have my trusty kitchen scales, calibrated, not calibrated. And we'll just do a comparison, a couple of pedals that I have here. One is a LOOK Max Keo, and this one here is obviously a very similar design by the same manufacturer, but it's a standard pedal, probably medium in their price line, and that weighs 132 grams, that one. So let's just compare the LOOK EXAKT pedal compared to it. Let's just whack that on. So we've got 132 grams for the LOOK Max and 153 grams for the LOOK EXAKT. So we've got around about a 33 gram difference between those two pedals. So that would add up to around about 60 or 70 grams for the whole kit. Also in the box is a calibration certificate, which is a really nice touch by LOOK and SRM, because it shows that they've gone through every single pedal and they've actually tested it, and they've actually got a result for it, and they've put it on a certificate. So you know that they're going through the quality control process. But there is some significant information missing from the certificate, which industry standard would normally expect. The serial number for the piece of equipment that they tested it against. Normally you would say Hewlett Packard, voltmeter, whatever the serial number is, and you'd have that on the certificate, so then you can see what instrument they've used. And they would also have their uncertainty of measurement and also their confidence level, and those things aren't on there. So look, SRM, if if you're watching this video, it'd be really nice if you just added those bits of information, which would be pretty easy because I imagine your lab has that information. Now what they give you in the box is this little washer, and it's not like a normal washer, it's a special washer. And one side it has a conical shape inside, and on the other side it has a flat. And what they tell you in instructions is to put that conical face against the conical face here on the pedal. This actual nut has a chamfered section, so that goes onto there like that, and that's the first thing you need to do before installing the pedal. As with any normal pedal, we need to put a little bit of grease on it, so I've got some grease here. So we just add that to the thread here, just to give it a nice little touch. You put this on, it makes it easier to get off when next time you come to take them out of your crank. Now as you can see in the background, I actually have a trainer here to hold the bike upright. LOOK actually state in instructions the bike must stay in a vertical position while calibrating. Now there's been a lot of criticism about how you install these type of devices on the EXAKT pedals, and we're going to see like how much faffing around it really is. Well anyway, I've got the tools here. I've got the pedal. Now what you do firstly is you get like a normal size crank Allen key, and you install it just like you would install any other LOOK pedal. So you put that through the hole in the back here, and then you connect it to here, and then you start turning. Mine are a little bit of a flapping around because I've got this Z crank that has a special adjustable length for the rider, so you can have it at 3 different settings. So it has the actual nut, it moves loosely in there. So okay, I've got that on. Okay. Now what it says is on the back here there's a little blue line, and I have to line that up with the... And as you can see there's the blue dot on the back of the pedal, and that is now lined up with the crank. And then once we've got the pedal on, we've screwed it on, we get the special tool, which is this one right here, and then we fit it into the back of the pedal. to go. And then we can move this top part here to do the adjustment when we connect it to the app and calibrate it. As we can see here, we have the app open and it's connected to the pedal. So when we push down on the pedal, we get deflection. And then what we do is we adjust this little key, so we bring it back to the center. Gone too far. Bring it back a little bit more. Now release the pedal. It stays in the same place. Apply the force again. And that's pretty much done. And to check that the pedals are installed correctly, I just put it on the data page and started pedaling on the trainer to see if the results from the pedals were coming out evenly. Now when it comes to recharging, they have a completely sealed pedal and they use a magnetic coupling that goes into the back of the pedal. And we just put this in here right now. There we go, and you can see a green light comes on, which means it's fully charged. It actually has a red light when it's not charged, and it changes to a yellow, and then it goes to green. So it's a pretty nifty little thing, and it also has an indication when it's charged. I did find on my first initial charge it did take some time, quite longer than I expected. So it would be nice for the dual packs for SRM and Look to add 2 of these chargers. I can't imagine them to be too expensive. Even if they didn't include the lead, just a little plug-in device would be really nice. Well, that's the first look and installation of the Look EXAKT SRM pedals. Now, there is a couple of criticisms since these have come out. Now, first of all is the price and also the installation. Now, I just did the installation, and as you could see, you have to move the dial into the blue gauge. Now, before I actually made the video, I had a little bit of a practice run, so I know what I'm doing before I actually make the video. And I was actually having a bit of a faffing around, like how do you get this thing adjust and it won't adjust and all that. But what I found is that you need to actually preload the pedal prior to doing the calibration. So there's like when you get the blue dot in line with the crankset, you have a locking nut and washer, and that locking nut has to be done up fairly tight, otherwise the calibration seems to you can't get it right. It just keeps going all over the place, and you just go, what the hell's going on here? I've got it in the center. When you take your hand off the pedal, it sort of goes one way or the other way, and then you try to adjust it and you go, hang on, is there a middle area here? But there isn't. It's because you haven't tightened up that preloaded nut tight enough, and when you do that, it goes very, very quickly. Now, I did actually have the calibration on the pedals is a little bit tricky, because with the dual ones you actually have to have both pedals on. It won't work. It keeps dropping out if you don't have both pedals on. So that's another quirk which they don't tell you in the instructions, but you need to have. But once you got that sort of stuff done, I was actually surprised when I did it for the video. It actually went very, very quickly, both sides. So installation wise, I think it's not that bad, and you could definitely take these on holidays, and within half an hour you could have them installed and ready to go. And I also showed, once I'd done that installation, the balance was really good, as you could see on the phone with the information coming from the 2 pedals. So all that really leaves is the price. Now, I will defend Look and SRM here, because I have a little bit of the attitude is that if you're buying something that's made in Europe or close to Europe, it's going to have a premium to it, and a lot of the European engineers and people need to meet regulations and standards and safety requirements that they have to meet in China. So China's always going to be cheaper. You're never going to buy a product out of Europe that's made in Europe that is going to be competing, $500-600 with other power meters. They just can't manufacture it for that amount.